Film, like any form of art, aims to provoke thought. If movie directors consistently followed the rules, it would be a fairly dull experience. However, some films are so divisive that their release is prohibited or, at the very least, they cause a global uproar. The 2010s saw no shortage of such scandals, with several films drawing criticism. While some scandals were caused by the films themselves, including charges of whitewashing and blackface, others resulted from the bad behavior of their filmmakers. Let's go and find out some of the most controversial films of the last decade. Joker, 2019. Many people have discussed Todd Phillips' origin narrative for the Batman adversary. The film's violent depiction of an unsuccessful comedian's mental instability and spiral into extreme savagery was heavily criticized for glorifying violence. However, Joaquin Phoenix won the Academy Award for Best Actor, and the picture was able to overcome the controversy and receive critical praise. The Interview, 2014. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg must have expected their satirical comedy to cause a bit of a stir. It centers around two American journalists hired to assassinate Kim Jong-un. However, the controversy blew up to unprecedented proportions when it became embroiled in the Sony Pictures hack. The infamous hack is often thought to have been North Korea's response to the film about their leader's cinematic assassination. Exodus, Gods and Kings, 2014. Ridley Scott's epic biblical film was one of the first to come under serious fire for whitewashing. White actors Christian Bale and Sigourney Weaver were cast in the main roles, whilst the slaves, servants, and civilians were played by people of color. Whitewashing became a point of heavy debate over the decade, with Rupert Sanders's Ghost in the Shell, 2017 also being heavily criticized. Cuties, 2020. Perhaps the most controversial film of the last decade was released on Netflix in 2020, causing an uproar of backlash with hundreds of thousands of subscribers pledging to cancel the streaming service. Cuties, Mignons is a French coming-of-age film written and directed by French-Senegalese Maimouna Doucouré, featuring hypersexualized 11-year-old girls in a film rated 18+. It was criticized for child exploitation, with many calling Netflix's defense of the film as a social commentary against the sexualization of young children, entirely hypocritical and counterproductive. Zero Dark 30, 2012. Catherine Bigelow's thriller about the manhunt for Osama bin Laden sparked controversy on many levels. Many were shocked by the depiction of the torture used by the U.S. military and CIA during interrogations. The film was heavily criticized for being pro-torture. Blue is the Warmest Color, 2013. Abdelatif Kechich's movie enjoyed initial success when the director and both leading actresses were awarded the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 2013. The name of the film was subsequently sullied, however, when actresses Lee Seydoux and Adele Exarchopoulos came forward about the harassment and labor law violation that went on during filming. Kechich's follow-up, Mektub, My Love, Intermezzo, experienced the same issues. The Birth of a Nation, 2016. Nate Parker had high hopes for his silent epic after its success at the 2016 Sundance Film Festival. However, the re-emergence of his sexual misconduct trial in 1999 thwarted any chance the film had of being a box office hit. The public was reminded of accusations against him and co-writer Jean Maggiani-Celestin, and in the end the film was a flop. Nina, 2016. Cynthia Mort's biopic about Nina Simone was met with fierce criticism because of the decision to darken the skin of lead actress Zoe Saldana in order to increase likeness with the singer. The use of blackface was condemned by high-profile musicians including Grammy Award winner India Arie. Nina Simone's estate also took to social media in its damning of the movie. I Love You, Daddy, 2017. Louis C.K.'s film about a 17-year-old girl who falls in love with a much older man was probably intended to turn a few heads. The film really became the subject of controversy, however, when C.K. confessed to sexual misconduct. As a result, the Paris premiere of the film was cancelled and it was never released in cinemas or on video on demand. The Predator, 2018. A story about soldiers fighting off a pair of invading predators, the fourth installment of the sci-fi Predator franchise was not intended to cause a stir. The gates were blown open, however, when actress Olivia Munn revealed that director Shane Black had cast Steven Wilder Striegel, his known sex offender friend, in a minor role. The release of the film consequently became what has been described as a media circus. The House That Jack Built, 2018. The extreme violence depicted in this film by Lars von Trier is somewhat legendary. There was a rumor that over 100 viewers walked out of its Cannes Film Festival world premiere. Whether this rumor holds true or not, the film is often thought to be one of the decade's most shocking. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe for more information. Please do support us.